In this video, I'm going to show you how to use NAPS2. So the first thing you have to do, of course, is install NAPS2 onto your computer. Some people also call it NAPS2. It's the same thing. And then once you install it on your computer, you'll see this thing over here once you open it. So it's like pretty much a blank screen with some settings up at the very top. Now let me show you exactly how to use this, how to set this up step by step. The very first thing you're going to have to do, of course, if you want to use NAPS2, which is meant for scanning, is of course connecting a scanner. To do this, you want to go to either New Profile on the left, or you want to go to Profiles and click on New. Once you do this, you want to give your scanner a name and then you want to connect your device. So I'm actually going to go and give it a name HP Scanner because that's the brand of my scanner. You could also go and name it like Home or Work or whatever you want to call it, or Office maybe, whatever. And then you want to go and choose your device. I'm going to click on Choose Device, and then from here you can see you have three driver options. Now if you have connected your scanner to your computer via cable or Wi-Fi, it's usually going to be inside the WIA driver, so it should pop up over here like it does for me. It says one device found. If it doesn't, you can also click on these two drivers and see if it's hiding in there. If it's not, it means it hasn't been yet connected to your computer, and to fix this you can go ahead and make sure your connection with your cable is successful and your Wi-Fi connection is on if you're using Wi-Fi internet to connect to your computer with your scanner. Now, if you still can't find it, I would first recommend wait for a few seconds if you've just connected it. Wait for a few seconds, a few minutes, and then you should be able to see it over here. If you don't, make sure your scanner is connected to your computer. So go down here to search box and go to printers and scanners. In here, you should be able to find your scanners. If your scanner is not on list, go to Add Device top right, wait for your computer to find it, and then when it finds it, you'll be able to basically see it over here in the list, and you can just go ahead and click on Add Device, okay? So mine over here is connected, as you can see over here, and I can also find it in here. So when you, of course, find it, you can click on it and click on Select. Once you've done this, you can then go and use predefined settings or use native UI. I'm actually going to go and use predefined settings right now. And you can then go and select paper source, bit depth, page size, horizontal align, resolution, and scale as well. Now over here, paper source, this is going to be kind of the most important part. If you have like a duplex two-sided scanner, you may see different options over here like duplex or two-sided, and you can use that for two-sided scanning. Here you can of course change the page sizes, etc., and the brightness and contrast as well. If you want to enable autosave, you can also do this, but for advanced settings, you can find them inside settings over here. So you have the image quality, which is going to reduce it or increase it depending on what you set it to. You can of course change how blank pages appear. You can go and select post-processing, how it's going to work, and then you have some compatibility settings and some versions and stuff like that. When you're done with all of these, click the OK button and then a OK button again. Now once you've done this, you can see your first scanner has been connected. Now to actually use NAPS2, you have to click on the scan button with your scanner loaded. So I actually have a small paper in there. I'm going to click on scan, and you're going to have to wait for this to acquire data and start scanning, okay? So usually it's actually quite quick. It's going to start scanning quite quickly, and then you'll see your scanning finish over here. Of course, if you have multiple pages, all of them. If you have one, of course, it's going to be only one, and you may have to flip it if you have a manual scanner. So as I said, once your scanning is completed, your outputs are going to be over here. For me, I only have one page and one page only, but of course you can have multiple as well. That's also going to work if you have a scanner which can handle this, or if you press scan multiple times while putting in different papers or flipping them around. So once you've done that, you have a few options. Down here, bottom left, there's going to be this button which is going to hide or show this side panel. And then you have the zoom out and zoom in buttons, okay? So we can go ahead and zoom out like this or zoom in like that, okay? And then up top, you have a few things. You can go and OCR it. Now, if you want to know more about OCRing and how it works, I have a full video on that as well, so go watch that first. We're not gonna touch that a lot right now. We're just going to touch it briefly. So if you want to OCR, you can click on that, hit OK, and you're good to go. You can also go and import, so if at any point you want to import something in here, you can do that as well. You can go and save this as a PDF, and you can go and of course select all or just select it, or even go to PDF settings over here, which allows you to put in like different paths, titles, authors, etc. And then when you do this, if you try to save, give your document a name. So I'm just going to name this one hello, save it to downloads, and click on save. Okay, that's all you have to do to save a PDF. You can also save images. So if you want to save this like a JPEG, PNG, or TIFF or something like that, it's going to work the same way as well as saving a PDF. You can also go and email a PDF. So if you want to, you can click on here, select the email you want to use, and then go ahead and send this or email this PDF. You could go and print it as well. So if you click on the print button, and if you have your printer connected, it's going to allow you to print as well. So as you can see over here, it says print, printer. You can select your printer and then hit OK when you're done. And you can also print that if it's connected. And then once you click on a specific page, you can also see the image options. This allows you to view it like this in full screen. It allows you to go and crop it. You can crop it like that. It's actually super easy to crop. You can also go and brightness and contrast. You can change that too. You can go and change hue saturation. You can make it black and white, sharpen it. You can correct your document, etc. And you also have the option to split it if you wanna. You have the option to combine them if there's multiple, and you can edit it with, and of course edit these things in different things if you want to as well, or reset, which is going to basically undo all changes on your specific image. Now, this thing over here is going to allow you to rotate. You can go and do custom rotation. You could also go and, of course, flip it. You could go and rotate it like you want, etc. That's going to work. You can move up, move down. If you have multiple documents in here or pages, you can reorder them like this, or you can do reverse or any of these, or you can just delete a specific page. You can clear it, which is basically going to delete all the items, and you can also pick your language for your NAPS2. You can go to settings where you can see your default settings and stuff like that, and then you also have the about page, which is going to show you everything about your NAPS2, what version you're using. You can check for updates, etc. Okay, so that's essentially all there is to using NAPS2. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please subscribe to the channel and help me out as well.